our organization called Assistant Association for Political Prisoners of Burma. Our organization based in Mae Sot, Thailand, and we set up in March 2000. Our secretary is Tay Nai, and joint secretary is Boji. We have 2 branch offices in Burma, one in Rangoon and one in Mandalay. We have total total 42 staff in our organizations. So the main objective of our organization is to get free all the political prisoners in Burma. Okay, so what our organization do? So our organization provide assistance to current and former political prisoners. So providing assistance means health, education, and some vocational training for former political prisoners. And then we have 2 main projects. One is MHAP, it's called Mental Health Assistance Program. It's for former political prisoners and for their families who are mentally affected because of the imprisonment and because of the tortures. And another one is data collecting project, because Burmese government, every Burmese government deny that there is a political prisoner in Burma. They already said there is no political prisoner in Burma. So we are making or recording the history. So we are collecting the data about how many political prisoners in Burma and how they face in the interrogation and in the prison. Now we have collected about 2,500 data, and we already key into the database system about 2,300. So we have some data about how they face in the interrogation and how they face in the prison. And so I just want to mention and highlight one thing is ABB is widely recognized as a reliable and credible source of information on political prisoner issues by the United Nations and other international governments, Amnesty International, and Human Rights Watch as well. So we are providing some vocational training to the political prisoners and their former political prisoners and their family. And also for their health, is include for their family member as well. So for MHAP project, JHU, Johns Hopkins University, technically support, and for the finance is like from USA, I think. Okay, for the torture wise, because I came here for the torture conference, so there are state torture issue in Burma, like every other country as well. So I want to mention one case in the past and the current case in different areas. So I have the data about, his name is called Juno, also called Aung Chou. He was arrested in 1990 plus, and he faced all kinds of torture and interrogation, being tied upside down, being hooded, and drip water into the heart, and beaten by many ways, electric shock to the genitals, and everything. So he, he was affected mentally. And he suffered AIDS and hepatitis C inside prison. So this is in the past. And after Wu Tai-seng became president, so there's a case in Rangoon, in Mariango Township. His name is Myo Myin Sui, right? Myo Myin Sui, I think AHRC know very well about him. He was being accused of murder. Actually, he was not involved. Police came to his house and arrested him. 5 days after his arrest, the police declared dead because they declared because of the heart attack. But according to all this photo, he was tortured brutally and died. So this is in Rangoon area. And another example is in Kachin State, just very recent. 4 Kachin ethnic four Kachin ethnic. They were arrested, being accused of having connection with KIA, Kachin Independence Army. But actually they deny they were not involved. They just stay in the refugee camp. And these four persons being accused of planning bold and like making contact with the KIA and all that. And then in the interrogation, how they ask them to do, how the interrogator asks them to do is force them to have sex each other. So this is very, I think, rude. So this is in Kachin state. And in Bago, it's just nearby Rangoon. The guy is about 14 years old. He worked as a waiter or helper in a tea shop. He was accused of like stealing something from his shop. And then he was sent to the police station. Police torture him, although he is like 14 years old. And the police declared that he is like 18 years old and all that. But likely, the judge, the court didn't accept that, and the guy was released. So so this is what's the situation in Burma right now about the torture. So the torture does not affect just the individual, but has a ripple effect to the immediate family member as well, and also not only in the physical, but also in mental as well. And so, according to the questions I've been given, so the torture case is very widely happening in Burma. So we will talk about like who is the perpetrator. Perpetrator is army, of course police, security officers, and also prison authorities. And so if we talk about the rules, so like there is no rule about the torture, blah blah, but no. We have the Articles 330 and 331 of the Burmese Penal Code prohibit hurt and grievous hurt during interrogation, and Act 166 outlaws the injury of anyone by a public servant. So there's already law, but the problem is never practiced. And also in our constitution, so section 347 said the union shall grant any person to enjoy equal rights before the law and shall equally provide legal protection. And 353, nothing shall, except in accord with existing laws, be detrimental to the life and personal freedom of any person. And section 354 says, every citizen shall be at liberty in the exercise of the following rights, blah, 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 is to express, to express and publish freely their convictions and opinions, to assemble peacefully without arms and holding processions, to form association, organization, and all that. So there's already law, okay? But the problem is they are not practicing. If I have to talk about the Convention Against Torture, so our AAPP already issued a statement on 26 June 2013 to ratify the UN Convention Against Torture. One candidate or one MP, his name is Dr. Aumuño, he is from National League for Democracy. He raised a question about ratifying Convention Against Torture on 21st March 2013, but Ushuima, he is a speaker of the Pidu Lodot, dismissed the need to take concrete steps to eliminate torture in Burma by denying a motion in Parliament to ratify the UN CAT. So this is their, I think this is their color. They are showing their color that they don't want to eliminate all this. Okay, they want to maintain this because when I was in interrogation in prison, I met a lot of police because I was in the police custody for 8 months. So I met a lot of police officers and other ranks as well. So their mindset, they don't know how to do the interrogation. Their mindset is just to beat the people to get the answer and to be confessed. And they will torture the people. Their mindset is, if they don't do this, the people won't say the right things. Even though the prisoners or the criminal saying the right things, they don't believe that. So this is their mindset. I think we need to change. So how do we change? We need to educate them. When we educate, not only to the police, military, or prison authorities and all that, but also to our people. Because our people need to know what is human rights as well. Because the problem is, when we talk about human rights in certain issue, the people say, "Wait, don't come and mention about the human rights every time. This is our dignity, this is our identity, blah, blah, blah." So we need to educate to our people what the human right is and how we need to practice. And about the police department in the Ministry of Home Affairs. Okay, police department is under Ministry of Home Affairs. But the problem is in Constitution. In the Constitution, the Commander-in-Chief will appoint 3 ministers. One is Ministry of what? Defense. Yeah, Ministry of Defense. The second one is Ministry of Home Affairs, and the third is Ministry of Borders area and all that. So the police department is under Ministry of Home Affairs. So all the high officers of police department are from the military. And the prison authorities, they are from military officer as well. They are very high rank officer like colonel or brigadier general. They became the high official or high officer in the police department and in the prison authority as well. And this goes to another department as well. In every department, mostly every department in our country, the high officials are from military. And if we talk about the rule of law, even though we know that there is law, they are not practicing. And their mindset, like, we have to torture the people to get confessed. So, and then, like, even though there is no evidence and the criminal or the prisoner is actually not committed the crime, but they found out, like, oh, there's no evidence, but they imprison them. Like me, when they arrested me, like, only a few things they have evidence, but they charged me a lot of sessions or a lot of articles. So we said there is no rule of law. And according to our data collection, in 2,500 data, around 90% of the prisoners answered that they charge unfairly and they don't have the fair trial. So if we talk about the budget, our country has a lot of natural resources, but we don't know where this money goes. We are earning over 2 billion per year from selling gas, like natural gas, and like we have other like jade and rubies and other resources as well. But we don't know where all this money goes. But according to their parliament, nearly 50% of the budget were used for military. Okay, there are another problems in Burma, like it's civil war. The civil wars between ethnic minority groups and the military. We know and we understand that European Union provide assistance to MPC, Myanmar Peace Center, who is led by minister from President Office. They funded, European Union funded the MPC, and MPC is doing for the peace process. But they said they are in good shape. They are processing. But currently, they started fighting among each other. Like the army invade into another, their outposts and all that. So there's a war in Shan State, in Kachin State, also in now current state as well. And in the past, we have the situation for the judge, like the judge in the court, if they have to hand down the verdict, they have to wait for the command. They have to wait the envelope from the military officer. It's the same goes as well now. For certain cases, not every cases, like it's related to politics, related to some other issues, the judge doesn't have the right to hand down the verdict. They have to wait until they receive the envelope. There's an order. So this is the case in Burma. Unless I just want to say we support Hong Kong student movement. And actually I have photos here, prominent student leaders from 88 generations. They have the, like writing here, Hong Kong support, and we have the photos, but unfortunately I can't show that. So I just want to declare that we support Hong Kong student movement. Thank you so much.